wunderschönen guten Tag erlaube ich mir zu wünschen. So. Okay, ich höre jetzt gerade keine Musik. Wieso das? Habe ich den Stecker verkehrt? Nee, ist nur ganz leise. Okay, wieso das? Okay. Jo. Alle anquatschen, wie immer. Tammy is bobbing her head along happily to music coming through her earspeak, which she turns off as she sees you approach. Hello, Cloudy. I was just daydreaming. Her gaze flickers over to the geoponics domes before she gives you a distracted smile. What's up? Do you need something? Aha! Tagträumen und sie schaut zum Geoponics. Also, sie ist einfach nur nett zu mir. In Wahrheit ist sie auf Cal fixiert. Alles klar, alles klar. Ja, ja. Mars does a little twirl, showing off her shimmer dress. Her shimmering ring. You wouldn't believe how many kudos I needed to use to nanoprint this dress, she says loftily. I won't even bother telling you, it would only make you jealous. Ja, tierisch. Unfassbar. Unfassbar neidisch wäre ich da. How's it hanging? Du, ich weiß, wer auf die steht. So, hatte ich irgendwas aufgeschrieben, was ich denn tun möchte? Ah, der physische Bonus ist noch aktiv. Ja, gut, okay. Jo. Ich bin schon in der Hälfte vom Stress. Muss dran denken, hier ich glaube, dieser Monat ist das Fest. Wenn ich jetzt hier noch irgendwas tue. Ach nee, Quatsch, ich bin ja erst in dem. Ah jo, okay. Hat sich erledigt. Ich bin hier noch ganz weit entfernt. Ganz weit. Ich bin ja noch ganz am Anfang von dem Jahr. 20 Reasoning. Ach, Quatschchen. Ja, definitiv weit weg. Wie gesagt, Toughness und Combat. Da würde ich zuerst auf Combat gehen. Hier in Geoponics hätte ich ja im Grunde genommen auch viel schneller Toughness aufgestockt, ne? Everyone is so dramatic right now, Dace mutters, kicking a rock with his hand shoved in his pockets. Who cares who said what or who or whatever? It's so dumb. Hm? So. Gehen wir ein bisschen was über die Tiere lernen. Defense Training. Combat. Once Big Brother Com teaches karate techniques to the class. Kick, punches, flips, all the cool stuff. He's much more calm than security chief ref and takes the time to connect with you instead of just relying on intimidation. You kind of wish he was the chief of security instead. Maybe one day. Ref can't be the boss forever, right? Ja, es ist, wie gesagt, ich muss auf meinen physischen Level, meinen Skill muss ich jetzt ein bisschen erhöhen. Bravery würde wahrscheinlich sogar reichen mit 40, falls da in dem nächsten Winter, in dem nächsten Dunkelsaison The Punk abgeht. Ich weiß nicht, 13? Mit 13 schon? Ich dachte erst so mit 14 wär's soweit. town organizes your first karate tournament. Well, he didn't call it a tournament. It's more like an exhibition to show off how far everyone has come in their training. There's informal sparring matches and feats of strength, like high kick, challenge, and breaking boards. Despite Com's best intention, Ron is absolutely taking this like a competition. She takes her place next to you at a board breaking station and gives you a challenging look, tossing her unruly hair over her shoulder. It is on? Oh, it's so on. One likes winning, but he loves competing even more. You both smash boards until your hands are red and sore, and have a great time egging each other on. Com eventually puts a stop to your competition, declaring you the winner. One cheers for you. Also, jeder hat ja so seine Eigenheiten hier, ne? Mars ist halt, ne? Und so. Aber jeder gönnt's dem anderen. Das ist schon geil. Das ist schon geil. Total unrealistisch, aber ist geil. -2 für alle Gelbkarten. Aha, schön. Dann machen wir mal hier mal so Dingens. Ja, -2 für die Karte. Naja. Ist auch 22. Besser wird's nicht? Okay. 4 Combat. Mortal Kombat. Animal hätte ich zwar gerne auf 20, aber das ist jetzt nicht so dringend, ne? You wake to the sound of your parents arguing in hushed tones, clearly trying not to disturb you. You blink away the sleep from your eyes, eventually remembering, wait, isn't today your 13th birthday? Where's your birthday cuddles? Your parents always make a big deal about your birthday. You peek out through the privacy curtain on your bunk and listen in on their argument. You're being unreasonable, your mom says. Claudie is a teenager now. You have to give her the opportunity to take calculated risks, or she'll start acting out. That's just what being a teenager is. Ach ja, ich darf hier jetzt offiziell nach draußen. Going off into the wilderness isn't a calculated risk, your dad replies. It's too dangerous. It's weird to hear your parents argue. If they ever disagree, they sort it out quietly or go to meditation. Mediation. This time they sound really upset. It's unsettling. I think I should. The danger isn't, you don't need to. I think I should. I should what? They glance at you, your mom holds up her hand to silence you and goes back to talking. Geranium, she says. You've said yourself that we need every person out there surviving for edible native plants. You're even going yourself. Why not our daughter? Your dad flails his hands helplessly. Because, Flulu, she's our daughter. It's our responsibility to keep her safe. You're not keeping anyone safe by coddling her. Your mom almost shouts and your dad flinches in shock. Claudie's survival depends on her understanding this planet we're living on. So you're not doing her or the colony any favor by pretending like that's not the case. Bravery. I can take care of myself. You point out that you saved Professor Hall when you were only 11, so clearly you can handle yourself. Your dad's shoulders sag as he shakes his head. You barely even know what's out there, kiddo. Aber irgendwo hat er schon recht, ne? Your mom's fierce expression softens. Hey Claudie, sorry. It's your birthday today, and here are we arguing like a pair of... Yeah. Happy birthday. They both give you a hug. We meant to order up from the canteen and have your usual birthday breakfast, but we got to talking about how Utopia opened up on position in expedition for kids 13 and older, and, well, that's you now. I suppose we'll have to let you spread your wings someday, your dad relents. I just feel better knowing you were safe here inside the colony walls. He gives your mom a faint smile. We decided early on to let you choose your own path in life, so if you want to join expedition, we're behind you. Just be safe. Ring da ding. Ist das so toll draußen. Toll. Ach, guck mal da. Tammy beams when she sees you, like there's nothing better in the world than the sight of your face. Happy birthday, Claudie! She exclaims. She comes in for her annual birthday hug, throwing her arms around you and give you a great big squeeze. Yeah, I got you this. Dann kriegst du wahrscheinlich auch wieder Postwenden zurück. Naja, fast. Sie hat ja erst im... Ja, sollte ich aufmachen, damit ich... Late Pollen hat sie Geburtstag. She steps back. Hallo? And reaches into one of the many pockets of their dress, producing a little paper box. I made you this, she laughs, opening it to reveal a little snack-sized cake. Share with Tammy. Und sie schneidet natürlich wieder ihr Stück. Oh. Also, sie hat auch einen. Dann hat sie das für Kerl schon wahrscheinlich vorher abgezweigt. Hi, Daddy. You find your dad comparing some plant samples. When he sees you, he puts down the test tubes and gives you a big hug. Kiddo, he exclaims, then kneels down to look you in the eye. I've been thinking. I want to say I'm sorry your mom and I were arguing on your birthday. We disagree sometimes, just like every couple. But it's unfair that you had to see how the soy sauce gets made. But anstatt the sausage, the soy sauce. I was really upset. Persuasion. Ja, über sowas, was... Ja, komm. Ach, ich krieg Kudos. Your dad's face falls. I know I'm sorry, Gooseberry. Here. The depot's open now. Go get yourself a piece of candy or something on me. Für 3 Kudos kostet doch nix. Your mom and I talked it out, he continues. We are both just really putting our everything into the farm right now, and it's making us kinda snappy. You don't have to worry about it, okay? He squeezes you in a hug. If you want to join Utopia's exploration team, just be careful, it's dangerous out there. Also ich würde mich nicht wundern, wenn ich tatsächlich Tonin retten würde, dass das dann vielleicht sogar noch länger dauert, bis das geöffnet ist. Ich kann mir nicht vorstellen, dass der da so d'accord damit wäre. Liegt da was? Nee. Dice skipping stones across a flat stretch of rock. Talk to my sister today, he says. Skip, 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 skip. She's doing some kinda super secret extra credit project in engineering. She wanted to gloat, I guess. He tossed a rock into the air and catched it. Whatever, she just likes it when people pay attention to her. Das tut jeder. Ignoriert werden ist voll Kack. One is sitting in the sports ball dugout, her feet propped up on the bench. Hey Claudie, what's up? Nuffen. Nuffen. Überhaupt nuffen. Chief Engineer Instance has allowed me a great deal of intellectual freedom, she says. She does not see my age as an impediment to my contributions. In fact, she celebrates my youth. She says that it is the old who should look to the young for guidance, as we are unburdened by tradition. In some ways, she's the mother I always wanted, she adds quietly. My own mother was burdened by many things. Ja, das ist immer ja jetzt so ungefähr so weit zu erkennen, dass die Mutter vermutlich an Depressionen litt. Und von wegen, sie benutzte, she was using drugs, meint vielleicht nicht unbedingt tatsächlich Drogen, sondern die Tabletten, die dafür sind und die dann vielleicht rein von ihr ausgehend abgesetzt wurden. Soll ich jetzt mit 79 noch? Ja, eigentlich schon, ne? Was macht man denn eigentlich? Irgendwas für... Eigentlich könnte ich tatsächlich in Geoponics mal ein bisschen mitbuddeln. Dann kriege ich mehr Toughness und gleichzeitig könnte ich da mit den Tieren was auf... Ja. Oh, 20. Ich dachte, Tiere wären hier vorher. Nee, für die Schule würde ich mich dann erst nächsten Monat interessieren, würde ich sagen. Shovel dirt. You join Carl at a particularly fragrant pile of compost. He's trying to use his hoverboard as a wheelbarrow, carefully pushing compost of it into the pile. Don't you just love this? Cal asks excitedly. Your hoverboard? Yeah, it's cool. Dirt? I guess it's okay. What? These stinky, rotten food scraps. Dirt? No, he laughs. I mean just this. He waves his arms, dirt encrusted up to the elbow, to take in the entire greenhouse. We get to help plant stuff and watch it grow. Even if we're just moving dirt around, we're still helping. Why do you like it so much? Well, he considers, I like digging holes in the dirt, 'cause it's so full of surprises down there. I found the worm. Wait, let me see if I can find her again. You named her? He sticks his hand into the compost and rummages around, his tongue sticking out of his mouth. I guess she got away, he says after a minute. She was really shiny, like a rainbow. Wait, he says, I just thought of a thing I like better. He shows you his splayed hand. Getting dirt under my fingernails, he laughs. I don't know why, but it's the best. Echt, ich finde das so furchtbar. Also wenn ich ich konnte als Kind schon im Sandhaufen oder so buddeln, aber wenn ich dann, den Sand konnte man dann wenigstens noch schön abmachen, ne? Aber sobald Schlamm irgendwie war oder wenn es klebt, nee. Okay, es wäre genug. Ginge das besser? So. Nö, ist genauso Schrott. Obwohl. Toughness auf 30. Geil. So. Dann wäre dann demnächst Biologie an der Reihe. Und das ist ja dann Organization, ne? Persuasion ist super, Bravery ist gut, Empathy, meh. Gucken. So, heute wird entstresst. Kein Loot. Some people get the sniffles during pollen, Cole says. My mom says it's cause your nose thinks the pollen dust is itchy. So it turns on the flood works to wash itself out. Claudie, what do you think about this? Mars walks towards you heartily. Stops, poses with her arm on her hip and then turns and walks away. I call it my cool walk, Mars says, looking over her shoulder. I also have a bored walk and a flirty walk. It's important to switch it up once in a while. Okay. So, wie gesagt, entstressen. Mit Dice kriege ich Punkte, wenn ich draußen bin. Also werde ich hier in der Lounge werde ich mal ein bisschen mit Tammy abhängen. You look around the lounge. Some friends are here. Who do you hang out with? Mama Tammy. Tammy looks up from where she's pretending to feed a bottle to to Baby Doll. Wollte gerade sagen, warum tut die bei dem Baby nur so? Aber das ist ja eine Puppe. She spends her work hours helping out in the creche and she still wants to do it when she's relaxing. She must really like taking care of people. Hey Claudie, she says sweetly, do you want to play house with me? I'm the dad, oder was? I kinda feel like you're a little too old for this, but Timmy's so earnest, and you don't want to crush her gentle spirit. You sit down and play dolls with her for a little while, like you used to when you were kids. Nee, Quatsch. Irgendwann krieg ich's. Gut. Das ist die einzige Dreierkarte. Unchangeable. Ist natürlich ganz praktisch manchmal, aber... Ja komm, ich behalte. So, ich würde sagen, jetzt eiern wir ein bisschen draußen rum. Ich gucke aber erst noch, ob es irgendwas Cooles zu kaufen gibt. Nee, nicht wirklich. Animals 5 halt, ne? Ah, ich würde die Coolers würde ich eigentlich behalten wollen. Should a face mask coordinate coordinate with your outfit, or should it provide contrast? Marcel's holding up 2 fabric face masks. She crumples them up and throws them to the ground, then stomps on them. Ugh, I'm so tired of all of this skunky pollen floating around. Why can't this planet just be normal for once? Normal like what? Your dad was sniffling and sneezing pretty bad this morning. He collapses around this time last year, so you've been feeling anxious about his health, especially now that the pollen is back. He's working hard in the fields, respirator hanging from his neck as he grunts and shovels dirt into a wheelbarrow. He sees you coming and stands up straight, caulking a little as he stretches his back. Hey kiddo, what brings you out here? Dad, you have to wear your respirator. Your dad makes a blah 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 motion with his hand. I do. Don't look at me like that. I'm just getting some fresh air. It's hard to breathe with that thing on. He leans on his shovel, tucking one foot behind the other and rocking back and forth. Truth is, I've been working like a dog. I love to get out of here for a while. Hey, what do you say? You and I go for a little walk, he says, brightening. I know you don't get outside the walls much either, but we could do a little nature walk. I study all the plants the foragers bring back, but I've never really seen them in the wild. What? No way, it's dangerous out there. Do you want to go outside? Sure, your dad says. People can want to try new things, right? Your mom doesn't see the draw, he continues, flipping his shovel up in his shoulder and picking his way carefully out of the turned fields. She likes what she can't control, you know, but there's a whole planet out there and I want to go explore. He stops and doubles over, suddenly wrecked with a coughing fit that makes him unable to speak. He tries a few times to catch his breath, but each time he just starts coughing harder. The pink pollen in the air swirls and eddies around you both. Maybe you should stay indoors. Oh, you're dead, wheezes. You're just like Instance. That old stick in the mud. Ugh. I remember when we were younger, she was always walking around with her nose in everybody's business. She always thinks she knows what's best for people. Despite his brave face, he has to hold on to you for balance as he catches his breath again. Okay, maybe not the best. Maybe not. Now is not the best time, he gasps, finally putting his respirator back. But you and me, we have a date with the outside world, kiddo. I'm taking a rain check. Whew, he says, his eye red-rimmed and streaming from irritation. I can't wait until Instance figures out a treatment for this shimmer thing. She says maybe next year, maybe the one after that. I'm gonna be the first in line, you bet. Nur 15 Biologie. Da kann ich nicht mithelfen. Das kann ich erst später tun, glaube ich. One is munching on a container of cut-up pieces of desk melon. My mom is kinda bossy, but she sure makes a great lunch, she says, offering you a piece. Gotta keep your strange up. Tang is wearing a face mask and a full face shield. Greetings, human, she says, raising her hand like the Hallowits of little grey aliens. It's hard to tell if she's being ironic. Chief Engineer Instance nanoprinted personal protective equipment for all of the lab's assistants, Tang says, gesturing to her full body smock. If we contaminate the samples with pollen, we lose a year of work. Also wenn ich alles draußen abgegrast habe, würde ich auf Biologie setzen. Andererseits, ja, es ist halt Pollen, ne? Also, wenn ich jetzt nicht draußen herausfinde, wie das Ganze funzt. Are you going to tell me I'm a nerd? Dice asked, barely looking up from his holopalm. You can save it, I already know. Wo ist das Problem? Nerds sind cool. Survey the plains. Okay, sie hat zuerst eine Aufgabe für mich. When you boarded the expedition's autobus this morning, you didn't know what to expect. It throttled you and the other surveyors a few clicks north to the prosaic plains, a high flat area with cooler weather than your colony. You should barely control your excitement. You could, as you watched the landscape change, and now you're here. You're finally only enough for a real survey mission away from the colony. You greet Chief Surveyor Utopia at the depot. This here is a blaze cutter, she says, handing you one. It's a tool for cutting and heating things. You can use it to make fire, cauterize a wound, boil water, and it cuts some materials pretty alright. You can use it for your self-defense too, but I don't suggest it. Cool, fire. Are we gonna be in danger? She makes a so-so motion with her hand. This is a quiet area, and what we are doing, we are not supposed to be in danger. We are just gonna be taking notes and pictures, keeping track of all the flora and fauna we see. Just don't touch anything. Unless I ask you to take a sample, everything is potentially dangerous. We don't know much about what's out there, which is why we need surveyors, even younguns like you. The prosaic plains are sparse region, like you can assume from the name. You can see things from a long way off. Utopia sees you squinting at the horizon. And what are you gonna do if you see something coming for ya? Try to pet it. Avoid it. Good kid, Utopia approves, patting you on the back. We don't need any trouble. Dice joins you. You must have come on an earlier autobus. Oh good, you're here, Utopia says, digging out another blast cutter for Dice. You two greenhorns are with me, for the foreseeable. No, we don't gotta sniff each other's butts all the time out here, but I do expect you'll all be in yelling distance. Comms can get spotty out here. You and Dice share knowing glances. You've both been sneaking out to explore long before you were even official allowed. Utopia also hands you a surveying drone and shows you how to launch it. It'll automatically perform local scans of wherever you go. Though detailed scans still need to be done manually. When you return here to the depot, it'll update its finding to the holonet. Your job is to cover ground, see what's out there, and so long as it isn't dangerous, record it. She slaps you on the back. Alright team, don't get yourself killed out there, okay? Yes, ma'am. Kann ich hier irgendwas greifen, was gerade hier so doof rumliegt? Was denn jetzt? 10% Bonus, das war schön. Okay, hier geht's schon ab. Ist dicht, ne? Ja, okay, da ist dicht. Gut, dann machen wir erstmal hier die ganze komplette Gegend frei. It's a cloudy day. You hear the crash of thunder from somewhere nearby. Loud. Sounds like it's getting closer. Suddenly a massive, impossibly tall something punctures the low dust clouds and slams into the ground ahead of you. It's as tall as a skyscraper and meter wide, covered with chitinous bone like an insect. You think it might be a leg? Another crashes down, then another. The creature's body must be up in the clouds, so high you can't see anything but the legs. The first leg lifts again and moves towards you. You're in shock. Your body simultaneously screams at you to stand still and run. Ach, witzig, kann ich nicht analysieren. Echt jetzt? Perception 50. Seid ihr bekloppt? bekloppt. Stand still? You freeze up in terror, closing your eyes and standing perfectly still. Maybe it will just pass by? You can sense a shadow descending from above you. Something suddenly hits you from the left and you are flung sideways off your feet. A moment later, one of the massive legs slammed down right where have you been. Another second and you have been flat as the grass underneath it. You look up what hit you, but it or they is already gone, having saved your life. Okay. Komme ich an dir nicht vorbei, nö. Hey Claudie, Dice greets you cautiously as you pass on the narrow path. Hey, do you want me to show you something? Dice always makes overtures of friendship. Whatever it is, must be pretty cool. Yes, you always find the coolest stuff. Nod quietly and follow him. You follow him for nearly half an hour. A couple times he stops to listen for something, then continues onward, tromping through the fields of broad-topped mush trees and swaying antler ferns. After a while you start to wonder if he just lost. You're about to say something about it when he holds his hand up for silence and directs you to crawl under a huge mushroom. On the other side you have a view down to one of the perfectly round ponds, taking up most of its enormous xeno, its legs deep underwater. It's a Balnil, Dice says. They live in the swamps. You don't usually see them here. This one seems totally at home. It dips its long neck and even longer mouth into the pond, sucking up water from the bottom and spewing it out of a sprout at the back of his head. Balnil. The spray of beautiful turquoise water sparkles in the sun. Tiny colorful bird-like creatures dart around it, catching the tiny fish that come spraying out. We should kill it while it's distracted. Sit and watch quietly. You enjoy the pretty scene together. Spark snow is driving down and visibility is poor. You can barely see your hand in front of your face. Try to find a way. Perception. 47, ach du Dreck. Würde zu... Ach so. Wird zu einer roten Karte. You keep putting one foot in front of the other, relying on wayfaring and a fair bit of luck to make your way through. But you see something inexplicable? What the heck is that? You squint into the driving snow, but all you see is white and white on white, and the slightest hint of movement. It doesn't even look corporeal, almost like a cloud, like the snow is coming from it. It's impossible to get a closer look. You pull your collar tighter against the storm and move on. Schon bei 70. Bushboob. You are crossing a clearing when you hear a terrible cracking, pounding sound. A massive creature bursts through the trees, a boulder with arms, a bush growing out of his back, a bushboob. Utopia's mentioned these before, part animal, part vegetable, and part mineral. These usually gentle giants camouflage themselves as part of the forest. Bravery. Run like hell. Bravery challenge. Da werde ich wohl nicht genügend Punkte haben. Da muss ich jetzt gucken, dass ich das richtig gut hinkriege. Achso, das kriegt einen dazu. The creature pounds past you, its powerful stone-like gorilla arms smashing the ground. It doesn't even seem to see you and goes around you without even looking at you. Der ist aber vom Pollen wahrscheinlich betroffen. You look around, there's no sign of whatever motivated the bushboob to run so fast. At least that's something to be grateful about. The water in this pond is a slightly greener color than than you're used to seeing. It smells sweet, but kind of acidic too. That's odd. Drink some. Nee, das ist keine gute Idee. Okay, und zurück. Sieht alles sehr, sehr gut aus. Animals ist auch auf 20. Hi Tammy. Tammy presents you with a carefully folded pair of your socks. I hope you don't mind, Claudie, she says. I was in the laundry room and I noticed that your socks were starting to get some holes. We are only supposed to use the nanoprinter for things that are really important, so I figured you wouldn't mind if I fixed them in the old-fashioned way. You take the socks and see they are mended now. A little ugly, but at least the holes are gone. Let me know if you have anything else you need mended. We all have to do our part. Oh. Schnuffel. Mars is frowning intently at her holopalm, typing a new message. Oh, excuse me, Claudia, I just have to clear something up, she says, sparing you a look. Anemone posted her answers to the Everything About You survey on the colony message board, and she said that she thinks her brother Com is the coolest person in the colony. Mars rolls her eyes, as if. Com is like one of the hottest, but he's not sophisticated. So, wie ist das? Kannst du mit den Tieren irgendwas gerade mal? Ja, help with the animals. Ach, Schande, geht ja nicht. Ich muss ja... Jipp. Ich muss ja... Dinge tun. Mich erholen. You've heard Security Chief Rev is on the lookout for lookouts. That is for kids to chill out on top of the walls all afternoon and count Xenos. Sounds way better than going to class. He gives you a once-over, eyes narrowed. Alright, he says, looking over there at the end of the field. What does the sign says? Read it out loud. You can read the sign easily. It says, if you can read this, your eyesight is 20 of 20. What a weird sign. What does that mean? Red nods in approval. Good, you pass. Come back next month and I'll put you on the roster. Zwei. Ich habe eine Haufe zwei. Das hat auch keine besondere... Ja, -2 ist nicht so blöd, aber das... Machen wir so. You're getting older. Is that magical time in your life full of the discoveries and possibilities? When children become Adults and their bodies change in weird, wonderful and often embarrassing ways. When you were younger, congruence gave your class a frank presentation about preparing for the changes your bodies would experience in the next few years. Which part of the presentation was relevant to you? Menstruation, breast growth, voice changing, getting erections. None of it. I'm like a doll down there. Dann würde ich vielleicht ein Gespräch mit Tang kriegen, wenn ich das letzte mache, ne? Menstruation und Breast Growth, das ist ja dann, wenn an meinem Geburtstag oder wann auch immer die Tante Ann auftaucht mit ihrer Tochter Anemon. Ja, machen wir das. You and your friends giggle your way through Congruence presentation, left with a new application of the wonders of the human body. Puberty had felt like something that would happen so far in the future that it didn't apply to you. You put it out of your mind, even as you notice Carl's voice beginning to drop or Mars starting to dress differently. Until one morning you wake up and something feels different. Ugh. Deal with it on your own. You wait for your parents to leave for work, calling out to you that you're going to miss breakfast if you lie around in the bed. When you're sure they are gone, you carefully strip the sheets on your bed and stuff them into the recycler. You put in a requisition to pick up new sheets from the depot as well as some supplies, and continue with your day. That night you find your mom waiting for you. She pulled your privacy curtain back to show your stripped bed and looks up with an annoying smile when you enter holding new sheets. She confronts you. There's only a few reasons a teenager does their own laundry. Do you want to share anything with your old lady, Claudie? You duck your head and mumble that you got your period. You don't know what you're expecting, but it's not a hug. I wish you felt comfortable at telling me, your mom says. My little gal is growing up. She puts her hand on your shoulders. I'm so happy for you, kiddo. I know you're probably grossed out, but getting your period is important. Sometimes we need a bit of mess in our lives to remind us that we're real, that we're part of this world. It reminds us that we have the ability to make life and responsibility to take care of that life. Getting your period is a beautiful thing. You can't think of anything worse. Thankfully, soon you can get a blocker to keep from having to go through this every month. Your mom hugs you again and keeps talking about how she's proud of you. It's super embarrassing. And you can't help but shove her away and retreat to your bunk to stew about it. What is happening? You feel on the edge today, like everything that happens feels so unfair and tragic, like you want to punch stuff and then cry about it. Like you want to be left alone, but you also desperately want attention. It feels like a fount of new energy is starting to bubble up inside you, a dangerous, uncontrollable energy. Welcome to puberty, Claudie. Puberty. Puberty. Ich wollte ja eigentlich Animal machen, ne? Tammy is waltzing around the courtyard, pretending her broom is a dance partner. She bumps into you and giggles. Oh, hello, Claudie, she says. I didn't see you there. She dusts you off and straightens your jacket. It's easier to do chores when you are having fun. Oh, I love dancing, don't you? Don't know. flowers on my birthday, how beautiful. She gives you a gigantic hug. Learned Tammy likes yellow flowers. Wusste ich das vorher noch nicht? You find Tammy in the common quarters. She's heavily absorbed in cleaning, balancing on a chair to dust high up on the walls. You always wondered who did all the really thankless cleaning around the colony, and apparently the answer's Tammy. Tammy looks down at you as you approach, and gestures to turn off her earspeak. Oh, hello, Cloudy, she says, pushing her bangs off her face with a sweaty, hurried smile. She's clearly been at this a while. I was just getting some cleaning done. Nothing like a shiny clean broom to take your mind off things, right? She grimaces, then seems to remember herself and covers it up with a giggle. It feels forced. Yeah, you should clean my room next. Is something wrong, Tammy? What? No, of course not. Tammy assures you. She hops down off the chair and gives you a brief little squeeze. Gosh, that's so nice of you to ask. You fix Tammy with a look and her smile falters. I mean, it's nothing, she says. I'm just overheard something I probably shouldn't have. She says, looking down at the ground. When I was getting something from the pantry, I overheard some of the adults in the kitchen talking about how the trippet stalks from the last harvest all had some word mold on them, and they had to throw out almost all of them. She tugs on her ear, miserable. If we ever run out of food, well. Tammy clenched her fist in her skirt. I wish I didn't have to hear about all that bad things. Why can't things be good and nice and not so scary all the time? Also sie will ja Friede vor der Eierkuchen. Also ich sollte ihr was nur vorlügen, damit sie sich besser fühlt. Aber ja, aber es ist gefährlich und schwierig da draußen. Tammy steps back from me, her eyes going wide. Don't say that! You wouldn't last a minute out there. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You leave Tammy in the common area, continuing to avoid thinking about her fears through stress cleaning. Also hätte ich ihr anbieten sollen, dass er meinen Raum auch noch sauber macht, damit sie sich entstressen kann, oder was? Okay, habe ich jetzt Punkte mit ihr verloren, vermutlich, ne? Schon bei 51. Hier bin ich fast bei 50. 36 nur. Also dafür, dass sie meine beste Freundin sein sollte. Alles, was ich mal rebellierend anklicken werde, wird um das Dreifache. Tripled. Gut, dann mache ich mal ganz brav da bei den Tieren ein bisschen rum. Help him with the animals. Your dad is working with the float cows. One of them is sick and isn't producing enough urine as ballast, and it keeps wanting to float away. Your dad is building a spike so that he can tie her down until she feels better. You hold on to the leash, feeling like a little kid with a balloon. A big woolly, oder? Woolly. A big woolly gassy balloon. It looks down at you with a placid, unblinking eyes. You can see yourself refracted in them. Word. Neat. So, haben wir jetzt das mal erledigt. Was habe ich jetzt für die... Ein Punkt. So. Rebellisch. Okay, machen wir mal hier Biologie. Das geht dann auch um einiges hoch, hoffe ich. Reasoning. Tangent stops you on the way to class. Cloudy, Where are you heading to life science? Good, I could use your help with something actually. I'm working on Chief Engineer instance with Chief Engineer instance in the biolab. If you give me a hand with it, I'm sure she'll give you credit for the class. Of course. Honestly, admits Tang, we just need somebody to label petri dishes and move them from the cooler to different machines. A hop eye could do it. Instant is staring unfocused at her hollow eye as she processes the results of the scans. Tang goes and stands beside her, pulling up the scan on her own holopalm. They confer quietly while you wait. Sounds like they are studying the shimmer, the mysterious illness some colonists get during pollen every year, including your dad. Instance looks up at you as if just noticing your existence. Oh, Claudia, she says, we've been studying samples from some of the colonies who get sick during pollen, including your dad. Some of the stuff in his lungs, it's some kind of fungus. We think the shimmer is a form of reproducing, Tang explains. It's like a fungus trying to turn us into more fungus like it. It's really neat, actually. Yeah, neat. You sound like you like the fungus. Yeah, neat. You spend the rest of the week helping them study the illness. Mostly this involves following instructions and doing, as Tang loves to repeat, jobs a hop eye could do. Nothing beats hands-on experience through. This would be easier if we had an actual sample of the fungus in Instance remarks. They are working with some biological samples, a fancy word for snot, but according to them the fungus is all mixed in with human cells. Instance has to spend a lot of time to word space trying to disconnect the two of the models in her models. Where could I find a sample? Our most useful reports have been from foragers returning from the Valley of Vertigo, she tells you, where the pollen is thick all year. That might be a good place to start. Das ist dann tatsächlich erst übernächstes Jahr, ne? Also dieses Jahr 13 bin ich ja in der Gegend, mit 14 bin ich in der nächsten und mit 15 könnte ich dann... Nee, mit 15 war ja schon das Problem mit der Hungersnot. Tangent and Chief Engineer Instance have been hard at work in the lab trying to find a cure for the shimmer disease. You've come to realize you remember how to cure this shimmer. You can't tell them it comes from your dreams, but you know the cause from nightmares of fungal topiaries, and you know the cure. You think you do anyway. Subtle guide them to the cure. You offer to help and nudge their research in the right direction. Due to what looks like a series of happy accidents, you achieve a breakthrough in a matter of weeks that would have taken years. Sunlight. You try inoculations, antibiotics, antifungal creams, but what finally works is a high-intensity light treatment mimicking the full force of the suns during dusk, coupled with an injection to increase the potency. Of course, Tang exclaims, the fungus colonizes animal life during pollen, and some succumb to it, but the intense light of dust scorches the fungus from the survivors. Yeah. It's all part of the natural cycle. The treatment works on samples, now to test it on a subject. You know it works, test it on yourself. Ich könnte es ja wieder an dem Tier testen und es ist nicht gestorben. An mir selbst testen ist jetzt nicht so wahnsinnig schlau, weil in einem Labor Zeug an sich selbst zu testen ist ziemlich bescheuert. Aber wenn ich schon mal angeboten kriege, machen wir's. Dann habe ich auch weniger böse Kammerpunkte. You already know the treatment work and it's safe, but you have to test it on someone to prove it. At least this way you look like a badass. You open a triple-locked research room and pass through the airlock. You don't have to Enviro Suite on, but that's the point. You need a strong dose of this fungus in your lungs. Oh Gott, das wird so bescheuert. The small room is filled with the shimmer fungus. It's growing on everything, the floor and walls, and on lumpy shapes that were some kind of biological matter once. Now it's all just fungus, violet and shiny. You breathe deeply, marveling in the feeling of super dangerous air infiltration your body. Tang watches safely from behind the thick plexiglass. You can't tell if she's jealous or impressed. Das war so keine gute Idee, weil ich will ja raus. Das heißt, ich werde vielleicht mich selber ausnocken, indem ich versuche rauszukommen, oder? Next you slide in the light therapy machine to bask in the nice warm light for a while. You even have a nap. Dr. Instance takes your vitals and runs samples of your fluid through various machines. She's excruciatingly through. Ja? Was? Excruciatingly. But after a few days she concludes that the treatment is a success. You still carry a high fungal load, but its effects have been nullified by the light therapy. Remarkable, Instance says, going over your findings. Now that we have a front-line therapy, we can begin treating the population to prevent the fungus from taking hold. She looks over at Tang. Claudie's discovery will be of great help with our other research. You expect Tangent might be cross that you got the credit, but she nods, looking pleased. Ja, die Ergebnisse zählen. Ne? You're just thankful that no one was killed, not your father or anyone else. The colony is safe from the shimmer. Nur 20 Euro immerhin, ne? Wird zu einer blauen Karte. Reasoning 9 nur. Das ist wenigstens 20. Der nächste Monat ist Anemon hat Geburtstag. Ich habe aber kein Ei, oder? Nö. Ja, Kuchen geht auch. Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young, and that everyone compromises some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves, and Tangent sighs as she goes to put her head in her hands, stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. What's up, Tang? Tang grimaces. Just great. Well, I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross here, she says. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under the workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines, and he comes over here and tells me it'll be okay, Tang. Like it's his job to console and patronize me. What's wrong with him being nice? But it's okay to make me. I hate being patronized too. You both sign in unison. I hate being young, she says bitterly. Why don't they understand that we have higher expectation for ourselves than they do? I need to learn from my own failures. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she says. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it, like I'm a child with a boo-boo. Ach, Reasoning war's. Ich dachte Biologie. Science is the language of all things, even on the planet such as this. Tang says, as foreign as it seems, all living things act accordingly to their biology. Tang tilts her head, and as biology is simple applied chemistry, which is simply applied physics. This means anything that is observable and many things that are not are governed by the rules of mathematics, which are as elegant and as constant as when the universe began. Geoponics. Sophisticated. Kann ich mit irgendjemandem noch was anstellen? Cal and Tammy are walking through the garden, shoulder to shoulder. Every so often, Cal stops and points out something while Tammy smiles indulgently. They see you approach and stop walking, moving a little bit apart from each other. Cal waves at you. Hey, Claudie, what's up? Aww, somebody has a crush on each other. You recently overheard the children learning how to count by studying hop eyes. Hop eyes have 1 foot, and 2 tail forks, and 3 stomachs, and 4 eyes. And if you see 5 of them together, that's lucky. Carl laughs, finishing the mnemonic with you. Wait, how did they find out that hop eyes have 3 stomachs? I don't wanna know. The garden looks deserted, which is strange. Carl's usually here taking care of the animals or playing in the dirt or fetching things for the adults. You spot a pair of dirt-streaked legs dangling over a piece of equipment and clamber up beside Cal on the sun-warmed metal. Cal distracted by something in his hands, but he looks up as you sit down. Oh, hey, Claudie, he greets you. I didn't hear you do that sorry. Look at what Tammy gave me, he says, holding out a weirdly shaped doll with green, stringy hair and lopsided eyes. She's the best, he says proudly. It's so cool that she can make stuff from what other people think is just garbo junk. He lies back against the machine and raises the doll to the sky, letting it block the sunlight from his face. Tammy's my best friend, he continues. I know we all grew up together, but like Tammy's really special, you know? Yeah, she really is. Isn't she kind of dull? I don't know her very well. Yeah, she's really is. Cal looks pleased. I'm glad you think so. We used to play together all the time in the stratospheric, like all the time. Man, I remember one time, Cal squints into the sun and rubs his chin. Sorry, before you got here, I was just thinking about how, when we were like 4 years old, I promised her that we would get married when we were old enough. Anemone teases me about it. She thinks it doesn't count because we were just kids, but I keep thinking about it, you know? He looks down at the doll in his hands. It's truly ugly, but maybe that's part of its charm. What do you think, Claudie? Tammy, come on, I'm way better. That's so romantic. People change. Carl sighs. I guess that's true. It's been 8 years? Maybe Tammy changed her mind, or maybe she doesn't even remember, I ask. Plus, I don't know how I feel about it. He's quiet for a few seconds, but then he laughs awkwardly and scrubs his hair so it stands up like a dandelion. Well, the good thing is, we'll be best friends forever, no matter what. Ja, forever, ne? Beim letzten Mal war es forever ziemlich schnell vorbei. You and Cal spent the rest of the afternoon basking in the warm sunshine and chatting about growing up in the stratospheric. He gets a little quiet whenever Tammy comes up again, but otherwise it's a perfectly happy day. Yeah, ne? Naja, ich esse genug. Ich habe gerade letztens sogar noch eine Blume gegessen. Ne, Quatsch, habe ich nicht. So, liegt hier irgendwas rum? Nee. So, ich würde dann tatsächlich rausgehen, weil nächsten Monat ist ja dann wieder die Veranstaltung. Oder soll ich Biologie machen jetzt noch? Nö. Nee. Für die Veranstaltung brauche ich noch ein bisschen Punkte, denke ich. Nur ein bisschen Reasoning. Focus on your own studies. You can't very well teach others until you learn the material yourself. Nur eine Runde, okay. +2, geile. Das sind wir jetzt schon bei 11 und hier bei 25. It's Saturnalia, time for speeches, games and feasting. You stare hungrily at the feast table. Sure, it's mostly soy rations, but it's still more food than you usually see all at one time. There's some potato pods and some roasted slabs of fungi, and a few dishes of earth vegetables from the greenhouses. You try to sneak some food before the speeches start, but Chief Engineer Instance catches you and smacks your hand away. Your mom gets really mad at her, and it causes a huge yelling match. Your dad directs you away from the table as Instance blames your mom for the way things are right now, whatever that means. Your dad passes you a soy sweet to keep your tummy buzzy during the speeches. He's the best. Governor Utica takes the stage and manages to calm everyone down. Welcome everyone to our Saturnalia celebration, she says, speaking through a maxiphono. Her voice has been getting weaker lately and can't reach across the square the way it used to. I'm proud, as always, to stand before you as your governor and to celebrate another year of peace and prosperity on this beautiful planet. Wohlstand, ne? Unicode steps aside, wobbling a little as she walks, leaving Zeke to complete the annual formalities. Also dieses Jahr muss ich auf sie aufpassen. Your mom steps forward. Before we get to the feast, I'd like to thank our cultivators for their hard work this year, she says. As you know, we lost our hydroponics and microbial soil during the wormhole accident. It has been difficult to grow anything in bituminous soil without them, so our outcome isn't where it should be. I'm sorry. A ripple of concern mirrors through the crowd, and your mom continues. We are doing our best in geoponics, and I'm proud of each of and every member of my team. Hopefully next harvest will be better. Mhm. Ja, komm, ich kann mitmachen. Udicott's weedy voice rattles through the Mexifono. Thank you, everyone. Let's get on with the games. The crowd packs away, the chairs of the children gather in the square. Which competition do you participate on this year? What? Com directs your attention to this year's edition. A cloth-covered mountain as tall as as 4 adults, studded with mysterious protrusions. Protrusions. He pulls it back to reveal the Tower of Terror, he announces with a flourish. Test your courage with 3 stories of ladder climbs, followed by a death-defying leap of faith onto the Puffroom mats. Puffroom. Oh, vielleicht kann ich mich nur entscheiden, ihn zu retten oder Judicott. You, One and Call take in the majesty of the Tower of Terror. Both of them are hooing and pumping their fists, absolutely bonkers about jumping from 3 stories. You will all still be doing the wrestling agility and accuracy portions, of course, but clearly this is the winner by popular vote. How about you? Are you ready? I have to. 60 Punkte. Okay, wird zu einer roten Karte. Blow through the obstacle course, the baskets shooting and the bot wrestle with ease, and you arrive at the base of the Tower of Terror with a detonated gleam in your eye. You scale it easily, of course. It's only ladders. Sure, it's really high ladders and a huge jump, but you just close your eyes and pretend you're jumping into a great big vat of pudding. Com awards you first place in the quadrathlon. Congratulations! Finally, it's time for the feast. The feast isn't anything special, mostly the same pressed soy rations you've been served in the canteen for all of your life. The foragers have contributed great slabs of fungi that have been grilled like steak. Not that you ever had a steak to compare to them. The offering from Geoponics this year are as slender as your mom want. There's a few turins of roasted potatoes and carrots, but everything looks so scrawny. Everyone gets a taste, but not much more than that. It's so unfulfilled. What have your parents been doing in geoponics this whole time? This sucks. Why are your parents like this? You suddenly shove your foot around on the plate. You don't even want to eat anymore. You're so pissed off. You're probably just hungry. Eat your dinner. Und die 50, die ich eben verbraucht habe, kriege ich nochmal zurück. Geil. You do feel better about after you eat something. Everyone's in high spirit after dinner, breaking off into little groups to talk or make music together as the sky darkens for the shortest night for the year. You feel your mood improve by the minute as your friends pull you into a fun rhythmic clapping game. As your irritation fades, you wonder if this is what Congruence meant when she warned that your hormones would make you feel out of control sometimes. When you go back to your quarters to get ready for bed, your dad gives you a big hug. It's exactly what you needed. Was kriege ich dafür? A winner and everyone wants to be your friend. Kudos doubles for 3 months. Liegt da was? Ne, liegt nix. Ich dachte, da sei Loot. Loot. Ach, der habe ich jetzt gar nichts gegeben. Schande. One is sitting in the sports pool. Oh Gott. Okay. Wie viel Herzen habe ich mit dir? Ja, so wenigstens ein bisschen was. Jeder möchte mein Freund sein. Ja, Kudos bekäme ich hier, ne? Nee, Quatsch. Sieben Kudos gäb's hier. Neun Kudos. 5. Was gibt's? Organization, Persuasion. Ja, Organization brauche ich eigentlich für die Mutti, ne? It's another meeting of the secret Fun Times Club. You're trying to figure out what to do today. It's your job as vice president of fun ideas, but you're having trouble coming up with something. Think, Claudi, think! What's that smell? Tang says as she joins you. You think she means someone farted and you giggle, but then you can smell it too. It's like burning mustard or spices, strong and acid. Then the overhead lights start to flicker. Oh, that keeps happening, Ma says with a shrug. Like the same time every afternoon. Nobody knows why. It's a mystery. She and Tang look at each other, then at you. A mystery. They jump to their feet. There's a mystery afoot, and the SFC is going to solve it. Tang brings up a fresh notepad on a holopalm and adds 2 bullet points. Clue 1, weird smell. Clue 2, flickering lights. Cal sniffs the air. The smell's coming from that vent, he says, pointing to a screen in the corner. Get a schematic of where the vent goes. You pull up a schematics of the ship on your holopalm and track down where this vent goes. It takes a sneaking route around the ship and connects to the cafeteria kitchens. It smells awful in here. Auntie Siren is here, fanning the nanoprinter with a cutting board while it belches out fall black smoke. Oh gosh, kids, she says. Don't come any closer. These darn nanoprinters wanna frizz again. Everything that comes out is awfully burnt, and I don't want you to breathe in the smoke. Every gosh darn day, she mutters under her breath. Tammy quietly points upwards. The lights are flickering here too. You take a closer look. There's some kind of black dust near them. That's weird. Little clumps of it are stuck to the wall and ceiling, all around the outlet and the back of the nanoprinter too. You climb up onto the counter, much to Auntie Seaton's annoyance. When you put your hand near the black dust, your holopalm makes your hand tingle. It's like vibrating slightly. Tangent climbs up with you and tries it too. Electromagnetism, she confirms. The ferromagnetic material in our holopalms are reacting to the presence of magnets, or an electric current. I think it's in this dust. She makes a note. Clue 3, magnetic dust. Auntie Seaton shoots you out of the kitchen. Go out! Go play somewhere else, my darlings. We've got supper to prepare. You follow the clump of black dust through the lounge, down a long hallway to the children's creche. It's quiet here, and instinctively you all walk softly and stop talking. You slow as you approach the playroom. Shh, Tammy says as you reach the door, and you stop suddenly. One, Carl, and Mars bump into you from behind. Sorry, she whispers. I hear something. It's like something eating. Something really, really small. Tang notes this, but to you at least, the room is silent. It's dimly lit, except for the holoprojector teddy bear in the corner that keeps flickering on and off. The one that nearly killed Tammy. You thought Professor Hell fixed it. Bravely enter the room. As you step in, all the lights in the room suddenly turn on. 2 musical toys starts playing all at once, and the toy robot begins spinning and cycles, whirring. Mars shrieks. Tangent rushes suddenly forward, grabs a glass from an art table and slams it upside down on the counter. I caught it! She yells. You gather around to see. Under the glass are what looks like 4 round metal things, like ball bearings. As you watch, one of them starts to roll. It advances to the edge of the glass, then rolls in a ring around the inside. It stops. Then a pair of long silver antennae emerge from the top of the ball. They click together, producing a bright spark of electricity. You all jump back. The other 3 balls gradually wake and begin snapping their own antennae. I think we've solved our mystery, Tang says with a growing smile. Sure enough, you find more magnetic black dust and something else. Tiny bite marks in the electric cord leading to the holoprojector. They must be feeding off the electricity, Tang explains. then storing it like a battery to use for self-defense, and this dust must be their excrement. Fascinating. You report your findings to Professor Hall. He realizes these pests have in fact been siphoning of electric current from your ship since it landed, and are responsible for some dangerous power surges. Hal gives you all some kudos and thanks. 30! 15 wegen populärem Status. Geil! Sehr schön. Wie? Achso, nur in 20 Sekunden. Hm? Hä? Achso, zweite und er. Achso, verstehe. Dann machen wir das anders da. Plus 2, wenn es der erste oder der letzte ist. Achso, Minus. Okay, reicht. Jetzt hat Cole Geburtstag. Ich krieg Kudos. Unsere Rebellische wird halt hochsteigen. Ist irgendwas besonders hoch jetzt gerade? Nee, ne? Die Mutter. Mit der 40... Da könnte ich was quatschen. Tell her what you learned today. You've been so busy lately, the only way you are able to get all your work done is to multitask, studying while you're eating, brushing your teeth in the shower, listening to holo novels while you're about to fall asleep. You have to double up everything. You're kind of expert your mom to tell you to take it easy, but she just laughs and claps you on the back. You're my daughter, alright, she says. Just too much damn work, not enough hours in the day, I know how you feel. Ja, um sie zu beschützen, muss ich ein bisschen tougher werden, ne? Und halt auch aufpassen, wann ich ich müsste vielleicht darauf achten, nicht immer komplett auf Stress zu gehen. Also, dass ich unter 50 bleibe, die ganze Zeit. Weil wenn der Hunger das nächste Jahr zuschlägt, ist das halt auch ein Problem. Ne? Apropos Hunger, jetzt werde ich mal draußen gucken gehen nach Dingen. Den Rest von dem ganzen Gebiet säubern. Dann kriege ich vielleicht noch ein bisschen Kudos. Wenn ich jetzt noch irgendwelche Dinge mitschlepp, Essen oder so, keine Ahnung. Kann ja sein, dass ich doch was finde. Ich muss ja noch die eine Spezies auftreiben, die ich Flu irgendwas Steinbeißer nenne oder wie die Dinger hießen. At the edge of one of the circular ponds, something sparkling catches your eye. Well, everything around here sparkles, but this thing really catches your eye. The water in the little lake is deep and milky through, and you can't see the bottom. It's completely still, around too still, and so perfectly circular. You remember you've been warned about getting too close to these pools. Bravely approach the water, wait and observe the water. Eigentlich eher das, ne? Ja, ich habe ja gesagt, ein bisschen mutiger werden, aber... Ach, machen wir halt. Wieso kriege ich da... Ach, nochmal +1 und... Ach so. You aren't scared of some pond or whatever might live in it. You march up to the edge, keeping your eyes on the shiny prize and paw around in the snow looking for that shiny whatever it is. Looks like it's a pretty crystal just sitting in the ground. Good find. Hätte auch böse ausgehen können. Eine Wurzel. Sehr schön. Ja, ich hätte eigentlich Call seinen Kuchen geben sollen, ne? Hab ich vergessen. Beziehungsweise es war mir nicht wichtig genug, dass ich mich dran erinnere. Hey. You stop to watch a herd of shaggy purple-furred animals slowly meander down a slope. You've never seen them before. Study them and give them names, calling them names. Nee, so nicht. Ach so, der kriegt. The creature's fur is like grass, so they must be a kind of photosynth. An animal that gets part of their energy from the sun. They couldn't be arborescent, photosynths, bush boobs, because they've got branches growing out of their heads and backs. You check your survey journal, it says bush boobs are common here, but they are smaller, solitary creatures, so nope. And they are too small to balneal photosynths, who don't usually leave the water. You found a new species. Maybe that would be cool. You decide to name them just in case. You look at them through your holocolors at maximum zoom. You can kind of make out that they have long super jaws like a huge underbite. You name them sunbaskers, underbiters, herdings, sunbiters, something else. Sunbiters. Naming things is hard, so Flu Sunbiters will have to do. You lock your discovery. Noch ein Buschbub. A bush boob's blocking the path, lumbering slowly back and forth between a dense strand of glupmoshes for whatever those plants are called, and a wide circular lake. It's like it's on some kind of patrol. It grows a warning when you try to squeeze past it, so you back off. From the look on his eyes, this one isn't letting you through easily. Find the route. Fünfzehn. You sneak through the glob mushes, crawling under them so the bush boob doesn't see you. You nearly get stuck at one point and wonder, what if Dice has come to rescue you? That would be embarrassing. You find a route through and continue on your way. There's not much to find out here, but the peaceful atmosphere is great for contemplation. You find a particular beautiful little plateau where you can see the plains spread out before you like a picnic blanket. Round lakes dotting the land like glimmering mirrors of sky. Dice is scouting further ahead. He was eager to find some adventure. Stop to meditate. Catch up with Dice. Remember the spot for later. Meditate. Vielleicht kriege ich da Stress abgebaut. Geil! You focus on the sounds around you, on your breathing, on the feeling of your butt on the rock and the slightly cool breeze on your face. It's very peaceful. You can feel yourself relax as you become one with the planet. Noch so einer. Something big suddenly bursts out from the jungle and scampers across the path in front of you. It looks like a miniature landslide. Bush-covered stone being pulled forward by powerful arms. It's a bush boob, and hot on its heels is a second, smaller one. These slow, furful creatures are rarely so full of energy. They charge back and forth across the path as you wisely keep your distance from the powerful animals. But for all the crashing and stomping they are doing, they don't seem actually be that angry. You swear they were actually being playful. Attack them? No. Die sind gerade am Maten. Die haben gerade wahrscheinlich was auch laufen. Get closer to watch ist auch nicht so sonderlich intelligent. Ich fürchte, die werden so oder so angreifen, aber They seem to be playing a game of tag. When the chaser catches up to the runner, they reserve roles. They do it with such gusto that the surrounding underbush is completely crushed in a wild cycle. An almost perfect cycle. Then all at once the first one crouches down on the path and tucks his arms and head under the bushes on its back. You swear it was just a rock now. The second one recycles the first several times, sniffing then crouching in the same position. Now might be your chance to get past them. Keep watching. No, keep watching. In perfect sync, the two creatures slowly stretch out and up, revealing their rocky bodies and reaching their surprisingly long necks up to the sky. They begin to shake their bushes and rattle their antlers in rhythm with each other as they stomp slowly round the clearing they have made. You think they're dancing? The intensity of the dance increases. They're both shaking their backs so hard that some of their branches and fruits are flying loose. Instinctively, you reach out to grab a piece of fruit. At that movement, the dancers shift and attack you. Ooh, 28 Stress. Phew! One of them steps on your hand with the full force of its massive body. You let out a cry of pain and clutch your hand to your chest. Ooh, that looks bad. The two creatures have been so intent in each other that they hadn't noticed you there. They are so startled and perhaps embarrassed that they take off running opposite directions. Well, that was the bird. Und ich habe eine zermatschte Hand. Das wäre nicht mehr viel gewesen, ne? Oh. Ich hatte eigentlich gehofft, dass das noch bis zum Ende reicht. Es wären noch 2 Events. Also mindestens 3. Vermutlich 4, wenn es das letzte mit dem Fähnchen noch ist. Go home. Yes, go home. 3 Perception, ein Animal. So, was war's jetzt? Steht das? Wie viel? 4 Events remaining, tatsächlich. Noch einmal Loot. Gut. I dare you. Early Wed ist Mars. Mars hat Geburtstag. Jedes Jahr 1. The Blubber Fruit. Schon bei 40. Most of the time you're alone up here, except of the occasional passing guard. But sometimes you're joined by a dice. He barely looks up at you as you plop down and kick your feet through the railing over the edge. He looks like he's stooling on his holopad. You see all sorts of plants, mushrooms, little creatures with too many eyes or too many legs. He has a selection of plant samples at his side, like artist paintbrushes laid out on a towel. He must be quite a junior botanist. He's not drawing plants right now, for he's actually drawing a person, and not anyone you recognize from the colony. They have long dark hair and a pointed face, and are covered from neck to toe in floaty black robes. They look neat. You wonder if they're Dice's original character or something. Like his super cool goth self-insert. Ignore him, or that looked nice? That looked nice. Dice smiles shyly, but doesn't look away from his drawing. Thanks, he mumbles. I'm not very good at drawing him yet. Midwet ist Ways, okay. Von dem haben wir noch ziemlich lang Ruhe, zum Glück. Wie, gibt's noch Gutes? Ah nee. Chance, Bonus. Okay. wie gesagt, draußen noch den Rest machen. Hier ist 1. Ist 2. You almost bump into Dice. He's being so still and quiet, hunched over and looking down a little knoll. He pushes you and points. Don't scare them. You follow his finger and see what looks like a bush shaking violently. Two bushes, actually, at opposite ends of clearing. Oh, they're bushboobs. From far away, they really do just look like plants and rocks. They're fighting over territory, Dice says. I hope they won't hurt each other. Neat. I hope it's bloody. How do you know that? Shout and scared up. How do you know that? Dice shrugs. If you're quiet, you see them a lot. You watch the two creatures face off, rhythmically rustling the leaves that grow out of their heads and backs. Their gangly branch-like antennas swing over their heads as they rear up to their full heights. Even from far away, they look imposing, like agile boulders. Agile. One goes, then the other. They watch each other carefully, alternating and repeating the other's motions, trying to outdo each other. Ultimately, the smaller, more graceful one seems to be declared the winner. The loser plops back down and shuffles away into the jungle, defeated. Und wo war noch Loot? Hier. Geil. Und das ist das letzte. You spot an enormous, unfamiliar flower. Large, waxy petals join to form a basin brimming with goopy yellow gunk. The entire thing has a sticky, melting look. The awful smell of the juice permeates the area. It's like something died in there. Drink it, drink it, drink up, drink up! Wait and watch it. One of the nearby bushes starts rustling. Oh, another bushboob. It approaches the plant and dips an arm into it. Bring it to its face and licking it. Then it sticks his head right in there and drinks. You tried not to gag. Ugh. After some long deep gulps, the bushboob wanders away, looking slightly tipsy. Put your hand in and feel around in there. Drink the goop. Drink it. Letztes Mal habe ich auch nur die Hand reingestopft, oder? You tentatively slip your hand in a little ways and feel around. Suddenly the plant contracts and sucks your arm into the elbow. You panic, expecting the sticky of distinctive juices, but it's just warm, gross, but oddly pleasant. There seems to be nothing else in there. You plant your feet on either side of the flower and pull your arm out with a mighty slurp. Your hand smells awful, but feels all tingly and kind of stronger. All your nose attracts a nearby bushboob. It comes scurrying out of the bush, growling and crackling at you. Defend yourself. ist 25 und das nur 17. Das verstehe ich jetzt nicht. Man braucht ja... Hä? Ah, okay. 17. Jo, reicht ja, von daher. Gut. The funny creature rears up and stomps the ground intermittently. But by reading its body language, you realize it's just trying to move you away from the big flower. You back away slowly, talking softly to it. Good bush boob. You can keep your gross, stinky flower. It's all yours, buddy. Keep exploring. Soll ich die letzten 3 noch machen? Ne, 2. Wären nur 2. Ich würde aber fit bleiben wollen für die Begegnung. Aber das kann ich eigentlich ja im letzten Monat tun. Fit bleiben, ne? Nee, eigentlich kann ich auch ein bisschen was für die Schule tun. Engineering war gar nicht mal so schlecht. Obwohl, ich kann ja auch hier zurück. Go home. Du stehst auf Wurzel und Blume. For my birthday? He mumbles. Oh, thank you. This looks like it's from a very rare plant. Do we find it while you were exploring? Probably. Okay. Soll ich vielleicht irgendwas für Gear umändern? Nö, ne? Persuasion, Empathy, Combat. Ja, Empathy könnte ich eigentlich machen, also in the Creech. Babysitting. You're relaxing after hours when Auntie Sedan pops her head into the lounge. The kitchen, she announces, is an artificial, sweet voice. She announces in an artificially sweet voice. It's looking for someone to help with part of her time cooking duties. Someone young, someone responsible, someone organized. Someone, she stares pointedly at the teens in the room, who might have too much free time on their hands. Volunteer. She bustles over to you. You'll be perfect, Claudie, she says, hugging you. Then loudly to the others in the room, she declares, I'm glad somebody around here is responsible enough to put in their shares of work. Everyone else ignores her, shifting arbitly. No one wants to disappoint their auntie. Auntie Sedan gestures towards the nearby cafeteria and tells you to come by next week so she can show you the ropes. trotzdem perfekt. Und kriegt noch extra Punkte. Geil. Geil. Das mit den Extrapunkten, das wirkt richtig, richtig fett. Also, wenn ich gescheit gelesen hätte am Anfang. Plus 12 Kudos. Krass. Die muss ich so schnell wie möglich ausgeben. Ich glaube, demnächst ist das Zeug nichts mehr wert, ne? Pay to remove cards in the quarters bar. Helping in the kitchen, creativity, empathy. Wow. Ja, das ist halt mehr Creativity, okay. Wäre vielleicht interessant, wenn ich auf ausgleichende Skills setzen würde. Mache ich ja jetzt nicht mehr so wahnsinnig, ne? Ich bin ja mehr so für Spezialaufträge jetzt. So. Mache ich Lookout Duty, ne? Wie haben wir? 40 Stress. Ich glaube, dieses Jahr ist tatsächlich, wo der in die Krippe reinbrettert. Was bedeutet jetzt, bin ich rechtzeitig hier, dort überhaupt? Wenn ich auf der Mauerwache schiebe, sehe ich ihn ja rechtzeitig kommen. Dann könnte ich vielleicht kommen eher retten. Ich meine, ja, das brach in die Krippe ein. Und da hatte ich die Möglichkeit, mich um die Kinder zu kümmern. Aber wenn ich hier draußen vielleicht bin, dann 10 Stress. Machen wir Lookout Duty. You show up bright and early for muster with the other garrison's recruits. It's mostly younger people. The older, more experienced security officers are all posted up for guard duty. One is here through. Her rowdy red hair tied back into a poof. She shoots you a little grin as she falls in formation beside you. You shift from foot to foot awkwardly, not sure where to put your hands. One nudges you with her elbow and gestures that you should stand like her, with her hands clasped loosely behind her back. You manage that just as Security Chief Rev comes to speak to the recruits. Good morning, recruits, he calls, his voice cutting through the still morning air. He pauses, looking at the assembled band of motley young, and taps his ear. Salute him. Good morning, Security Chief. Morning. Good morning. Rev crosses his arms. Well, we'll be working on that, he says. Working in the garrison isn't like other jobs, children. Here, you will be expected to give 100% every day. If you burn some food in the kitchen or shovel the wrong pile of dirt in geoponics, it's not a big deal. But here, it can be a matter of life or death. Not just for you, but for everyone in the colony. Loyalty, dedication, self-sacrifice, and honor. These are the soldier's creed, Rev says, steely-gazed on even. You wonder how many battles he saw on Earth, just like your mom. He doesn't like to talk about it. This is not a place for half-assed kids to run around and play soldier. You look around awkwardly at the other recruits. Isn't this a little intense for lookout duty? Rev catches your attention wavering and speaks directly to you, staring you right in the eye. Laziness and ego have no place here, he says. If you slack off and let something slip past you, you could die. Your friends and family could die. This isn't school, he booms. This is real life. Real danger. If you've been even blinked too long, you're all dead. Take the no blink challenge seriously. It hurts your eyeballs, but you stare Rev down until he actually laughs. Well, he cracks a smile anyway, and he looks away first. That's the spirit, Claudia, he says, clapping you on the shoulder. I don't mean to scare you kids there, he addresses the rest of the group. But I really do need you to know that this isn't fun and a fun little game. You can't sneak your little friends into the watchtower, you can't work on your homework, you can't catch up on sleep. Even 4 lookout duty seems like an easy job for kids to do to keep busy. It's very important. I need you to take it seriously, like Claudia here. Gibt mehr Punkte. Witzig. Irgendwie. Ja, super. Das ist wirklich die absolute maximale Zahl. Verstehe ich nicht, warum ich bei 28 trotzdem hier Joker-mäßig. Naja, gut. Egal. Okay, wie viel habe ich? 50. Another year, another glow. Everyone's pretty sure there's going to be an attack this year, so the colony is on high alert. You're on duty when the attack starts. You're there alone when you see a mist of something approaching from the distance along the path that leads to the gates. You realize you're looking at what must be hundreds of hop-eyes coming at you, so densely packed together they form a hopping, writing blanket over the ground. It oozes towards you like a slow oil spill. Good thing you were here. There are sure a lot of them this year. As the hop-eye batter against the gates, you hear the wood starting to give, bending and cracking under the onslaught. You wonder if the security officer needs help. Help? Defend the gates. Ich hab ja gut Combat, ne? Also von daher, aber mit meinen Karten, mit 50 Stress, okay. You scramble down from the walls and are immediately faced with a seething wall of hop-eyes. You kind of thought there were only a handful of these usually peaceful creatures in previous years, but there's swarms of them now. And not just hop-eyes. Once your eyes adjust to the chaos, you can see large creatures that look like walking bushes. These wild centipede-looking things with long spider legs and at least one giant many-eyed thing that hovering clear of the ground, defying gravity. They all seem to be incited into a frenzy, attacking everything in sight and trying to get through the walls. It's dark and chaotic. Com sees you through the fray. Claudia, he shouts, get to safety! You're suddenly not sure this is a good idea, but then you look up and see one shouting encouragement from up the wall. Fight, actually. Taktisch. Sehr gut. Das 46 könnte hinkommen. Die Karte wird zu einer 2. You're not even trying to win. There are too many of them and you are unarmed. But even your vulnerability can become a weapon. You use your knowledge of the buildings around the gate to bait anything that slips past the defenders into circling back so they can be picked off by people with actual weapons. One acts as your air support, calling out when certain shortcuts are blocked by the creatures, so you always have an escape route. Eventually, the defense forces manage to push back the creatures. The rest of their broken swarm flees back into the wilderness. Com jogs over to you, breathing heavily, and slaps you on the back. You're one brave kid, he says. Stupid, but brave. You really helped out back there. One whistles and hollers from the walls, and Com shoots her a grin. Ist es vorbei? Ist es vorbei? Ist es erst nächstes Jahr, wo das Riesenvieh kommt? Your parents are arguing quietly at your little table. I'm telling you, it wasn't a fluke, your mom says. They are not. They are not just wild animals. They have planned the fields, the lights. Okay, your dad replies, taking her hands across the tabletop. We have to tell people what we saw in geoponics. They look up, noticing you in the doorway. Your dad's worried expression quickly changed to a smile. Hey, Rutabaga, what happened to the fields? Your mum stands up. Don't worry about it, she snaps. Get to bed, it's late, and we have a lot of work to do tomorrow to clean up. Dann war es nächstes Jahr, wo Com und Judicott sterben. Ach, jetzt sind wir 14. Jetzt sind wir 14. Was sind das, warum da die Zunge draußen hängen? Heroic. Pumped from last year. Gibt's irgendwas krasses? Und mit Karl habe ich sogar ein halbes Herz. Oh, mit Mars nur ein halbes. New Perk. Shop Weapons. Gehen wir gleich gucken. Bevor ich es vergesse. Supply Depot. Weapons. Nee, nix Autoplay. 50 Combat, 300 Punkte. 50 Combat, das wäre so krass. Dann bräuchte ich da nichts mehr großartig zu machen eigentlich, ne? Da bin ich maximal bei Combat. Dann bräuchte ich mich nur noch auf Animals und Toughness zu konzentrieren, weil das hier, das kriege ich ja auch allein schon dadurch hin, dass ich draußen rumeier, oder? 300 Punkte ist schon krass. Das sind 20. Hab ich nicht schon unfassbar viel? Ne, 10 habe ich. Plus 10 für Challenge. Und das ist zweimal Bonus. Ach, zweimal Bonus. Für Paare. Hey, das wäre auch plus 2 Bonus für Paare. Das ist schon geil, ne? Das ist schon geil. Vor allen Dingen mit 50 Combat kann ich Waze so richtig in die in die Leviten spucken. Ne, Quatsch. Die Leviten lesen, in die Suppe spucken und in die Schranken beißen, wollte ich eigentlich sagen. Irgendwie ist es in meinem Hirn gerade so ein bisschen durcheinander geworden, gewürfelt. Engineering muss ich mich mal ein bisschen konzentrieren, da ist nur 5. Das brauche ich ja, um den Code nachher zu schreiben, ne? Beziehungsweise um den eventuell, wenn ich ihn eingebe, hochlade, um ihn dann vielleicht auch noch mit Kreativität so ein bisschen anzupassen, eventuell, ne? Persuasion ist halt sehr gut. Das habe ich durch Gear, ne? Ja, 20 durch die Jacke. Das ist schon geil, schon geil. Ich denke, dass da wird's 300. Das dauert zwar noch. ich denke, das kriege ich sogar noch hin, bevor die Helios hier landet, abstürzt, landet. Hart, hart landet. Oder ich überlege mir, nee, 50 wäre schon stramm. Wäre schon stramm. Könnte ich mir wirklich für alles andere dann mehr Zeit nehmen. Also hier die 20, hier die 50. Nee, warte mal. Ich habe ja jetzt schon 10 drauf, ne? Also eigentlich habe ich 33. Dann. Gut. Alles klar.